So if we have these stories, these narratives that we're running, they're actually bullshit, but we have played them out for so long that they just feel like they're the truth. And then we go find evidence, not meaning to, not consciously, but we'll have a belief, right? Like I have to work hard to earn love. And that'll be our belief. And then we will unconsciously, subconsciously pull in people, situations, circumstances to prove that right. And so this is the kind of the kicker is like, you're all of it. Like you're the prisoner, you're the prison guard, and then you hold the key.
Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. We are coming to you a little bit later than normal for our Leadership Bite series. And I am joined today by a very special guest. She is a great friend of mine, and we connected in a mastermind more recently. And I wanted to bring her on here to talk about leadership and relationships and connection in a bit of a different way than we typically talk about on the show. So I want to welcome relationship coach, extraordinary human being, one of the kindest souls that you'll meet, Jess Hendrick. Jess, welcome to Amuse Bouche Leadership Bites.
Thank you so much. What a lovely intro. That was so beautiful. Thank you for having me.
Of course. It's a great intro for a great person, right?
Aw,
right?
You're so sweet. Thank you.
And if you are watching, we are live on LinkedIn. But if you're watching the replay, you can catch this on YouTube, and you can also listen to it any place that you can listen to a podcast. So, Jess, tell us a little bit, because like I said, we're going to approach this conversation from a bit of a different angle, because I've had business people on here. I've had an economic strategist. I've had two therapists on here. But you are a little bit of a different therapist. So let's talk a little bit about your story and your background.
Love to. Thank you so much. So I really, in my life, I've always been fascinated by psychology and why we are the way we are. And the reason was because I had a really hard time in childhood, in my relationships. It was hard. And what happened was I developed a certain blueprint when I was young, and then I just carried that blueprint throughout my life. And I would impose that blueprint onto romantic relationships, onto work situations, even onto how I related to my health. And I felt like I was just at the effect of all the things that kept happening to me. And I finally realized through the gift of, coming into contact with someone who did subconscious work, and then my mentors who taught me conscious relationship work, that we actually do have agency over this, and that our stories don't have to be our fate. So there's a quote by Carl Jung that I love, that it's until you bring your unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So that's basically the work that I do with clients. And this is the work that created complete transformation in my life and finally allowed me to be in this beautiful partnership. And now I'm in this transformation with my business and my health. And, it goes across all the areas of life.
Yeah. And that's found in, and people talk a lot about the unconscious and the conscious. And I know I've heard people explain it and they get confused. So just talk a little bit about what the difference is between our conscious and our unconscious.
Yeah.
And how that then, like what happens with us and things that get created, how that then creates this blueprint on our life that you had talked about. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, great question.
It's huge. It's huge.
It's so huge. It's so huge. It's so important. And I'm so glad we're talking about this, because basically our unconscious runs over 95% of our day-to-day functioning, right? So what is under our conscious awareness is about 5%. and the rest is underneath our awareness. So what happens is we can think that the surface level of the problem is the problem, right? Whether in relationship, in romantic relationship, in professional relationships, we can think that the surface level is the problem, but actually it's an underlying belief system that's running the show, right? And the
Mm.
reason why this will trip us up is because the underlying belief is often tied to past pain, past hurt, past trauma. And so the mind has decided something, right? Like maybe it's I can't catch a break. Or maybe it's that I have to work super hard in order to be lovable. Or maybe it's that I have
Social
to,
media is not working.
yeah, working
Social
on
media
that
doesn't
one,
work for me.
working on that one myself right now,
Yeah,
working on that, changing my relationship to social media as we speak.
exactly.
Yeah. But it's so interesting because our mind is designed to keep us safe and to keep us the same, right? Because that's what
Mm.
we associate safety with. So if we have these stories, these narratives that we're running, they're actually bullshit, but we have played them out for so long that they just feel like they're the truth. And then we go find evidence, not
Mm.
meaning to, not consciously, but we'll have a belief, right? Like I have to work hard to earn love. And that'll be our belief. And then we will unconsciously, subconsciously pull in people,
Yeah.
situations, circumstances to prove that right. And so this is the kind of the kicker is like you're all of it. Like you're the prisoner, you're the prison guard, and then you hold the key.
Oh wow. I've never heard it explained. That's like flipping it a bit.
Mhm.
And I've never heard it explained that way.
Mhm.
I've also heard it like you're the architect, you're the,
Yeah.
I've never heard it where you're the prison guard, and what was the other one? The third one?
And you hold the key.
And you hold the key.
So you're all of it.
Mm.
You're all
Yeah.
of it. But this is where people don't know this, right? So we just think, oh, this is just how it goes for me. My story for a long time was like, it happens for everyone else. Like everyone else gets to get married and have kids and have, the dream that they desire. And it's just not going to happen for me. And I had to do a lot of work around rewriting that and do a
Yeah.
lot of healing around the grief that was driving that belief and the fear of actually success, right? The fear of actually having what we want is a whole other thing. Because if we don't feel safe enough to step into what we desire, we will not be able to do it.
Well, and it's funny because as entrepreneurs, as business owners, I've said it where entrepreneurship, deciding that you're going to go out, take a risk, leave corporate, leave working for
Mhm.
somebody else and go out on your own, it is the biggest course, the most in-depth course in personal development
Oh, yeah.
that you will ever go through. And
Mhm.
it literally peels away all of these layers.
Yep.
A lot of people don't realize that. So they go
Mhm.
into entrepreneurship, they go
Mhm.
into owning a business, and they go full on into the business end of it.
Yeah.
And then they start hitting these walls,
Yes.
and it's like, oh no, now what do I do?
Mhm.
And I think that like ties to those unconscious beliefs that they have, and they don't even know that they have them, right?
Oh, 1,000,000%. So when I work with people, right, a lot of times when I say relationship coach, people automatically think that means just romantic, but it's how we relate to all of life, right? So how we
Mm.
relate to our businesses, like you just said, I mean, having your own business, being an entrepreneur and choosing that path and choosing to break out of the structures and the systems that really are designed to keep us small and keep us stuck and keep us on a hamster wheel is the ultimate journey in self mastery, emotional mastery, nervous system work. And
Mm.
yeah, you will have, I mean, most of us run into some kind of an upper limits issue because we don't either have, the belief system or our nervous system doesn't feel safe enough in getting to the next level. So then we'll run into this glass ceiling where we can't get through it. So
Mm.
that's where the work comes in. It's like, okay, what is life showing me right now? What is the story that I'm so committed to running that is not actually serving me? Right? Like I have one client, and this is a very common, especially with women, I find, but my
Yeah.
one client, she's the whole package. Like she's the whole package. She would be a gift to any man that that she would want to date, right? And she has a really hard time, partly because of that. And her
Oh my gosh.
story in her head is that, oh, they guys just don't like me like that, or they're going to go find someone else that's better, and it's always something about something being wrong with her. And I'm like, this narrative it's so ingrained in so many of us that like I'm doing something wrong. Like, what's wrong with me? What am I doing? And it's a tricky one
That's
because
me.
then right?
That's me.
Yeah, it's me
Yeah.
too. It's me too. And I've had to bring it conscious. And then I've had to ask myself, like, okay, how is this serving me? Like, what am I open to just trying on a new story for a little bit? Like, what if, right? And I was talking with our friend Vicky, and
Mm.
Vicky, I kept saying to her, if this strategy works for my business, and she's like, no, 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 it's working right now. It's working now. We have to keep telling ourselves, we have to actually take responsibility for what we're feeding our minds and give it something else, right? Because the mind is designed to solve a problem. So it's
Mm.
going to just focus on the old narratives and the old problem unless we give it a new problem, a new thing to focus on and start
So
rewiring.
so how does someone start to rewire? Like, because you
Yeah.
talked, I mean, it's like when people say, I want to buy a Volkswagen,
Mhm.
Jetta. And next
Yeah.
thing you know, you see all these
Mhm.
red Volkswagen Jettas because you're like, I want a red Volkswagen, so
Yes.
that you're just attracting it to you.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
people keep, because you and I have had this conversation, because
Mhm.
I have stories, as we all do, and it's like if you focus on that, you keep repeating, like you keep
Mhm.
drawing to you what you're focusing on. So
Mhm.
how do people, like, how does that process of reprogramming or like shifting it, like how does that work?
Yeah. Great question. I think it really starts with some kind of a rock bottom for most people. So it's like
Mm,
not what we really want to hear, but
yeah.
we've developed these narratives and these stories and these adaptations because we've gone through some shit, right? In life, like everyone has at this point. We've all gone through moments that have brought us to our knees. We've all gone through grief and heartbreak and heartache and all kinds of things, right? And so the mind is trying to keep us safe. But these adaptations that are designed to keep us safe are now actually creating more discomfort and more pain.
Wow. Yeah.
And life will keep showing us. And it's this thing of we can feel like, oh my gosh, I can't catch a break. Like nothing ever happens for me. But it's actually that life loves you so much that it is going to wake you up in some way, right? So you're going
Mm,
to get smacked. So first, you're going to have a little whisper. And if you don't listen to that, which usually I don't, then you get a louder message. And then if you still don't listen, then you're going to get a 2x4 to the head by life. And it's like, hello, like, hi, this is your rock bottom. It's okay. It's a starting point, but where are we? So we start there, right? It's so that it's an opportunity, even though it feels horrible, feels
it's
like
like your
death.
baseline. Yeah, it's like
It
your
feels like,
baseline.
yeah, your baseline.
Yeah.
But often it is a blessing because if we don't have that moment, then a lot of people won't ever reach their highest potential because they didn't have that pain that was
Mm,
driving them to seek a new way, right? I know that's my story. I would not have the relationship I have today if I was not on my knees in pain, in hell, so many times on repeat, playing out the same narrative. And I thought I was just, a victim of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So oh my gosh, I lost what I was going to say to you. I was going to ask you. Oh my gosh. Um,
It'll come
is
back.
this what they call like because I've heard this. Is this like the dark night of the
Yeah.
soul?
Yeah. Yeah. Dark night of the
Okay.
soul. And this time on the planet, a lot of us are going through the dark night of the soul. I know you and I have talked about this. And I used to think, naively when I was younger, oh, you just have one dark night of the soul and then you move through and then you evolve. And it's like, no, there are actually multiple periods in your life where you go into contraction, right? It's like
Mhm.
contraction, but then there's expansion after. And it's just the cycle of life. And someone likened it to a baby being born, right? Where there's contraction and expansion and contraction and expansion. So you're literally going through a rebirth within yourself. So you're going to have that discomfort of contraction, but then the expansion and then contraction again.
Yeah.
And it's just life. It's just life on life's terms, you
Well, and
know?
a lot of people want to avoid that
Yeah.
contraction.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing. Like if we relate it to like something that happens in a business has
Hmm.
seasons. It goes through
Hmm.
cycles. And
Yes.
those cycles can be very, very painful.
Hmm.
Downturns in the economy or, you know, situations like what happened with COVID. And it's
Hmm.
like everything just completely gets really uncomfortable and
Yeah.
really painful. And a lot of people want to avoid it. So people
Yeah.
either decide I'm just going to quit
Hmm.
right before like the big thing
Yes.
happens,
Yes.
or they do things to try and like cover what's actually happening because they
Hmm.
don't want to face it.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I think it's the same and it just applies because relationships, I mean,
Hmm.
businesses, it's a relationship,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this shows up everywhere. like, like the relationships are the entry point. So the reason why I call myself a relationship coach is because romantic relationships were it for me. That was the thing. That was the thing that brought me to my knees. I was trying to work out my childhood stuff and every different man that I met. And guess what? It really didn't work. And not only did it not work, but it was very painful and it sent me
Mhm.
to my knees over and over again. Right.
Yeah.
But that pain had me ask, had me seek, had me look for support for how to shift it. And then now it's like my experience going through that, and same thing with business. Like in a season like that in my business where it's like we're going to the next level, girl. Like, and hold on, you know.
Yeah.
But if I had not gone through that, I would not be qualified to walk anyone through what I walk people through as my clients. Like, and so it's a profound gift because there's this resonance that people feel when they're working with me of like, oh, you get it. Like you
Mhm.
understand because you have been there. It's not that you haven't just read it in a book, you've actually walked through the fire and now you come back with a map. And for me, healing this stuff, it's very relational, right? Because
Yeah.
we're wounded in relationship in life early, usually, you know, between 0 and 7, we get this blueprint. And it's not to make our parents or caregivers bad or wrong, but it's just the nature of life that things happen. We have a high state of negative emotion when those things happen. And then we decide a belief and then it gets imprinted into our brain.
Yes.
And that
Yeah.
is our framework that we live from until we realize, oh, this is not working. So life shows us this is actually not the truth. Like when you're
Mm.
feeling horrible, it's feedback from life, right? When you're thinking certain thoughts that are painful, it's actually feedback that those thoughts are not the truth because they're not in alignment with your essence.
So how do you know that? Because I know I have heard so many things from Ed Milet to Brendan
Mhm.
Bouchard to like
Mhm.
all kinds of people who talk about um, the lies that end up coming into our head
Mhm.
that tell us that we're not good enough,
Mhm.
this isn't going to work. Like, how do you
Yeah.
know? How do you know it's not? First of all, how do you know when you're in alignment? How do you know when it's not in alignment? Because I know,
Yeah.
like, I use alignment, and sometimes people look at me like I have three heads. Like,
Yeah.
how do you know what that alignment is or what you need to align to?
Yeah.
Like, I
Great,
know
great
when I've
question.
gone through my struggles, I've asked, like,
Mhm.
please show me like what
Yeah.
is not in alignment for me. Like,
Mhm.
how do you know
Mhm.
when it is and when it's not? And then what do you do when it's not?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think we have to be out of alignment to get into alignment, right?
Mm,
Like the misalignment or the pain or the struggle causes us to actually ask, right? So when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. And we are so powerful that whatever we believe is going to be true for us, right?
yeah.
So the desire causes us to ask, just to create a little bit of an opening. And then what happens is, you know, when I believe this, like when the student is ready, the teacher appears, you know?
Mm,
And so but you can really ask, like whether you pray or you just kind of speak to your higher self or you just want to call it the universe, but really sincerely like create a vision of what it is that you desire, right? Whether it's business, money, relationships, health, like really get clear on that vision. And
Mm.
then what is the next aligned action? Not what's A to Z, the whole entirety of the staircase, but what's just the next step. And this is where a lot of times we need support. And this is where I come in, because what I do with clients is we create the vision, and then they need help to cross the bridge,
And
right?
that vision, it can be like, it could be in your
Anything.
relationships, it
Yep.
can be relationships with your kids, your,
Yeah.
I mean, it could really be with anybody, but it
Yeah.
can also be, what do you want for your life,
Yeah, it
right?
could be your relationship to yourself and your life. Like, what is it? What are your deepest desires of your heart? And I
Mhm.
believe that your desires are holy, and they are there because you are meant to experience them. They are a map, they are telling us something. So they're
Right.
not there to torture you, which I used to think for so many years, because I, for so many years, just wanted to get like married and have kids and all these things. And like, it's like, why do I have this desire? I would pray, please just take this desire from me if I'm not meant to have it, because it's literally torturing me, you
Yeah.
know?
No, I
But
get that.
yeah, but through, I'm sure you do. Yeah. So through that journey though, I went through this like alchemical process of like meeting these parts of myself, like the most hurt, wounded, young parts, and like having support. Like I worked with a coach. I worked on my nervous system. I did a lot of somatic work. I took care of my physical body. Like this is an investment in yourself, right? But
Mm.
if you don't do that, then nothing else is going to flow, because you have to be your priority, right? And we
Yeah.
have to trust, and it's tough. Believe me, I get it. Like we have to trust that if we take care of ourselves, then we will be taken care of, because as within, so without, right? So if you're
Yeah.
moving from a place of depletion, then you're going to just keep feeling depleted. So it's a bit of a commitment, right? But to have someone to walk you through, like I had a coach, I had mentors, a few different ones that have been where I was, and I hired them to coach me, and it was life changing, because had I tried to do it on my own, it would have taken me much, much longer, right? So that's
Mhm.
the benefit of having a coach and someone who's lived it, is they can zero in on you, take your hand, walk with you to the next level, and then you're there, you are, you're good. But it can be challenging, because everything in your subconscious is going to tell you stay the same. Like, and you asked, how do you know that it's not true? Because they, all the stories sound the same. It's like part of the human
Mm.
experience, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
I'm alone, I'm not enough, I'm never going to be good enough, you know, I'm not worthy, imposter syndrome. Like everyone has the same BS narrative. So that's how we know it's a lie, and it's also programming from the world that we live in. But we need someone to mirror back to us a new way. So like
Yeah.
pulling the thread, right? Like what is your vision? Let's get really crystal clear, because that is part of your job. I can't give you your vision, right? What is that you want? Get really clear. One of my clients, I'm like, I'm gonna suggest this to all my clients. She used Chat GPT to create like a visual of what she wants her ideal scene to look like, with her husband, with her kids, with life. And now she has this visual to look at every day. But it's really, really powerful. And then what happens is then our subconscious starts looking for ways to bring it forward.
Yeah. Your
Whether
brain doesn't know, it doesn't know whether or not
exactly.
it's true
Yeah.
true or not. So,
Mhm.
yeah, so if you have it in front of you
Yeah.
constantly, that
Yeah.
that thing that you're trying to get to, it thinks it already happened.
Yeah. And then things, people, like you're a perfect example, Teresa. We're in this mastermind, and I'm literally praying. I'm like, listen, I need to take my business to the next level. I'm totally at an upper limits issue. All of my stuff is coming up. Like, help me, God, seriously. And
Me
and then
too.
yeah, and I prayed, and I told you I had like a temper tantrum in my car on the way home from this job that I already quit, because I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I was going to go backwards for a little bit, but I cannot. My soul will not let me do it. But I had a temper tantrum in the car with myself and God. And then the next day, you and I end up on a call, and it was like exactly what I needed for not just one of my next steps, but like multiple next steps. And then to create an ecosystem for my business. And I was like, whoa, dude, I'm getting shivers right now.
Well, okay, so going back to what you said, having a coach, having a guide who's been
Hmm.
there, done that, got the gold star, got through it, and can help you like walk through it and give you
Hmm.
give you the blueprint. Um, that is something that I do for people because I've
Yes.
probably made every
Yes.
single mistake in business. I mean, I've built a lot of businesses.
Yeah.
I've helped a lot of business owners, but I've screwed stuff up royally and I have made a ton of mistakes.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I know the flags and I know
Yeah. Yeah.
I know, okay, use this software, don't use this,
Hmm.
and just being able to help people based on my own
Yes.
experiences.
Yes,
And
exactly. You
it's
do
the
the
same
same thing.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same thing
Yeah.
like with the conversations that we've had where
Hmm.
you've said, Teresa, the reason why this thing keeps happening is because you have this belief, so you just keep attracting it to you.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm sitting there and I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like the Volkswagen story."
Yeah, it is. And it's nuanced, right? Because that is true, but also a lot of us that are, sensitive souls that go into service-based professions and we've kind of gone through it, we have a lot of grief and a lot of pain that actually
Mhm.
needs to be held and processed in order to be able to shift into a new story, right? So I'm not here like painting things over like spiritual bypass style of like, let's just slap a happy face. Oh, just tell a new story. No, this is deep work where
Yeah.
life is going to show us where we are not yet free, right? And it can feel like you're literally time traveling back to whenever that first pain point happened and you're experiencing it in real time. And it can be really gnarly. So this is also part of the healing work, right? We're creating the vision, we're seeing where we want to go. It's like a destination that we want to get to. But then I was sharing this with my client. I'm working with her and her husband, and they are doing such deep work and I'm so proud of them and they're reaching new heights, but then they'll have moments where their old fight will come up and then
Mm,
they're both thinking, is this sustainable? Can we do this? and
yeah.
and this is what I told her yesterday. I said, listen, I know that it feels like that and it feels very real in the moment because you're in that state in your mind where you're in that fear, you're in that narrative, then you're going to find evidence for that story in real time, right? Because you're triggered. But you prayed, you wanted this relationship to be at the next level. So
Yeah.
guess what's going to happen?
You're gonna get what you asked for, and
All
unfortunately, yeah, you gotta go through the muck.
all the stuff that is in the way of that happening is gonna come up. And that's actually what you asked for. Cause it's like when we ask for something, it's not just gonna be like dropped from the sky. It's like, oh, you wanna be developed into the person that can hold that kind of a business or hold that kind of a bank account or hold that kind of a relationship. So here we go. Like, hold on, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, that's like so it's so powerful because you and I have, like I said, you and I have had these conversations. I think,
Hmm.
I had a lot of things that didn't for myself. I had a lot of
Hmm.
things that didn't get processed, a lot
Yeah.
of grief, just a lot of things after my business partner died. And
Hmm. Hmm.
I didn't take time to kind of process through a lot of stuff,
Hmm.
which once I did, I also didn't realize how it was tied to a lot of old things, like as you said, from
Yes.
when you're
Yeah.
younger. So let me, because I think this relates to it. So
Hmm.
you have these four patterns
Hmm.
that come up that continue to keep you stuck, and I think this relates to what we're talking about here, where
Hmm.
people keep running into the wall.
Yeah.
They want their business to grow.
Yeah.
Like, they want to, be more successful. They want to bring in more business, whatever it is, but there's a pattern that keeps them stuck. Am I
Hmm.
correct?
Yeah.
And it's one of four. So you want
Yeah.
to like
Yeah.
walk us through, like, just
Yeah.
give us like a brief description of what these four patterns are.
Sure. So the one of the patterns is the rerun. So this is where you
Not like
are
as in what's happening now, like
right.
rerun. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's when you're going through life and you're hoping, okay, maybe this time it'll be different with business, with the relationship, with money, and you find yourself in the same situation yet again, same person, different body, same, different employer, but same energy. And it's just running on repeat. Like you're watching a movie and you just like Groundhog Day,
Yeah.
basically. Right.
Yeah.
So that is life showing us, okay, this is what needs to be looked at. Like what is, and then we need to look at for all of it, what our part is in it.
Yeah.
Right. Because there's a part of us, even if it's unconscious, we're co-signing it because we're in it. We're part of it.
Yeah.
Right.
We're like in that loop. You're
We're in
right.
the
It's like
loop.
Groundhog Day. It's like this
We're in the
keeps
loop.
happening.
Yeah.
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 All right. So we have the rerun.
Hmm.
What's number 2?
So number 2 is shut down, where you just completely, you may be efforting, you may feel like you're efforting into a black hole to some extent, like you're trying so hard to create something new and to control and manage every little thing, and it's not working. So then you just shut down, you give up, you kind of lean back, and you just stop.
That's my husband.
Yeah.
He's better now, but
Yeah. I
he
get
was
it.
one that like would shut down. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
because it's like a turtle going in its shell, right? It's like, okay, I'm not safe. Like,
Yeah.
you just shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
that's number 2.
That's number 2.
What's number 3?
Number 3 is the fixer.
That's me.
And you might see yourself, like I could be all of these, in different scenarios or different situations. But yeah, the fixer is the person who's over functioning, taking too much responsibility to try to control the outcome of and take care of everybody else before themselves.
The fixer. That's definitely me.
Yeah.
I can function most of the time. I'm the fixer,
Mm-hmm.
but I definitely have been the rerun,
Mm-hmm.
and I've definitely been the turtle shell. Like I've
Yeah.
definitely
The
been
shutdown.
the shutdown.
Yeah.
Definitely been that. But I am definitely the one that is the fixer, and
Yeah.
AKA it's also just disguised people pleaser.
Right.
Can
Exactly.
be,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a fancy way of saying that, because it's putting everybody else's needs before your own. But then that is an issue because you're basically as within, so without, right? So you're telling the universe, like everyone else and everything else is more important than I am. And then you don't know why you don't feel well or nothing's working, but because you're pouring into everyone else
Yeah.
without pouring into yourself, right?
Because you're forgetting
So
about yourself. All right.
exactly.
So what's
Yeah.
number 4?
So there's actually there's a fifth one too that I added in, but number 4 is the chaser. So
Chasing.
you're chasing. So this can show up a lot in it's most relatable probably in romantic relationships where you're like, you're the one texting, you're the one initiating, you're the one giving your all. Like I used to think I used to be this. This was like my big whoo.
Yeah. It could
And
show up. It could show up in business. It could show
oh,
up
definitely
like
it can
people who
show
are
up.
just chasing after like,
Yes, definitely. No, it
difficult clients and
yeah. Oh yeah. I had this thing. I had this I wanted to go on this podcast that had a huge following, and the guy told me he wanted to have me on, and I was all excited about it. And then it wasn't flowing, and I'd run into him in the world and he said, yeah, we got to have you on, da da da. And I felt like I was chasing it. And I'm like, this does not feel good. So I tried a couple more times, and then I was like, okay, we don't do that. We don't do that anymore. We're not chasing.
Yeah. No.
Don't give your power away, right? But with the romantic thing, it's like, you might think, oh, I give my all and I show up and I'm doing, but it's like balancing the effort, like matching the effort is very, very important, because otherwise there's just an imbalance there. So if you're chasing and you're not getting a lot back, there's some deeper underlying things for each of the patterns, but it's just information, right? It's a starting point for us.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So what's number 5?
So number 5 is blind spot, where you don't
That's what I
know.
remember.
Yeah, you don't know your pattern. Like you're not really sure. You're hearing me talk and you're like, this doesn't, I don't really relate to this. Like what's she talking about? And so basically it just means that you don't have awareness yet. And that's okay. That's also a pattern because there may be some like not wanting to look as part of
Mm.
the pattern.
You think there's fear behind that?
Oh yeah, there's fear behind all of them.
Yeah. Well, yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
But definitely like some people with the blind spot are kind of like la 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 la, I don't want to look like, and I get it because as you know we've talked about, looking can be really uncomfortable. But
Or
if
it's
we don't,
people who, or it could be people, they don't, it's people who think, oh, I'm good. I don't have any blind spots.
yeah,
I'm none of those. I
I
don't
don't have
have
any
any,
trauma.
I don't have any trauma.
Yeah,
I had a perfect life.
yeah, yeah,
I've run
me
into people
too.
like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
same, same.
And
And I'm like,
they have a lot of stuff.
yeah, and I get it because it's like I think certain souls, and you and I have talked about this too. Certain souls are just going to go through the fire in this lifetime, but they're also here to do really big things, right?
Yeah.
And then there's certain souls that maybe aren't. Maybe they're having a more of a life where it's not going to be that, and that's okay. But whenever I hear someone say like, "Oh, I never had any trauma," I'm like, okay, you may just not understand what it is because trauma is not even necessarily this big traumatic thing. It's like the way that we experience something in our nervous system and in our body that happened, right? So it could be as small as not getting an ice cream cone as a kid and like internalizing that to mean like something's wrong with me or, you know, why am I not deserving or whatever. And
Right.
then you just play that out. But
Right. No,
yeah,
people think it's like, people think, I mean, to be honest with you, when I first heard someone say trauma, I was like, I thought it was about like there was a huge death or a
yeah,
huge accident or something
yeah.
like major happened in your, and I quickly realized no, it's
Hmm.
there's sometimes it's just layers of little stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just, growing up in a house where, you had parents that both worked all the
Yes.
time and,
Yeah.
weren't home and,
Yeah.
whatever. And like it's people don't realize, and some people deal with things. I
Mhm.
mean, people deal with things differently, but some people
Mhm.
deal with it in one way that
Mhm.
creates that layer, and some
Yeah.
people don't deal with it. And,
Mhm.
they go through their whole life like that. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do agree with you. There are, and you also told me this, that, there are people that just get thrown back into the fire constantly because they're being reshaped. I know, me too. They're
I
being
know.
reshaped so
Yeah.
that they can grow, so that because they're here to do,
Yes.
extraordinary things.
You're
And
being
I think,
developed.
yeah, being
Yeah.
developed.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you.
Mhm.
Because I've always wondered this, and I've really uncovered through my own stuff that I've gone through and have, gotten to the other side of.
Mhm.
What does surrender mean? People
Oof.
use, you
Yeah.
just need to surrender, and people use it
Yeah.
like they
Mm.
blanket it and all over the place, and they don't really explain
Mhm.
what it truly means.
Yeah.
So,
I love this
what
question.
does it mean?
I love this question so much because yeah, I think it's kind of misunderstood where people can think, okay, surrender means just giving up, throwing in the towel, like okay, I surrender, I give up. But really the way that I think of it is working with life rather than against life, right?
Mm.
So we can have a certain idea with our limited human perception of how we think things should go, what we think they should look like, and kind of hold on to that for dear life, right? But then that doesn't allow like the flow of life where there's an orchestration happening that
Yeah.
we can't see around the next corner, right? But whatever word you want to use, like God, the divine, etc., sees the whole picture. So surrender to me is more like allowing yourself to go with the flow of the river versus trying to push a boulder up a hill because
Mm.
you think that like the boulder up the hill is where you need to be going. So it's like we have to do our part. We're not just going to sit on the couch and like, okay, I hope my business takes off or whatever, right?
Yeah, you actually need to be an active participant.
Yeah, we need to meet that energy, that divine energy halfway. But then I think surrender is like, is allowing after we take our steps, and it's an ongoing dance, right? And then allowing life to meet us, and really listening, like deep listening to
Mm.
what's in front of me in this moment, what's here right now. And that's literally how I got into contact with you, because in our mastermind, there's a bunch of people, and I really wanted to connect with people. And I was like, I'm just going to throw up a little link to do a 30-minute call. Let's see who books it. Let's see.
Yeah.
And then you booked it. And we had like the best, the second we got, I feel like I've known you forever. And
I
we got,
know.
it's like, what is this? This is so amazing. I couldn't have planned that.
Yeah.
And so that was just an example. And then now it's just keeps evolving, because you have been literally an angel in my business, like answering my prayers,
Oh,
truly.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The stuff that you taught me, I had no idea even existed. And I'm like, this is what I need to be doing, you know?
That all
So,
came from my mistakes.
but yeah, thank you for bringing that back around, because I don't want a person who's just had like smooth sailing and making like, multiple millions of dollars without like going through the fire. How are they going to help
Mhm.
me? How are they going to relate to me when I'm like, oh my God, I'm like on my knees right now, but because you have gone through so much, it makes you exceptionally qualified to
Oh,
do
thank
what you
you.
do. Yeah, it's
Thank
just how it
you.
works. Yeah.
No, I thank you so much. I appreciate that. And
Yeah.
it's the same thing for you. I mean, you doing the coaching that you do and the transformation that you get people,
Hmm.
and, figuring out how all of this fits together, because it's not easy.
Yeah,
That all came from the life experiences that you had.
it sure did.
And you're right. Like if because I remember working with one of my early, it was my first business coach, my absolute first business coach. And I remember that business coach telling me, if you really want to help people, you'll always do everything for free.
Oh,
And it was like, well, do you do everything for free? Oh no, I chart. And I'm like, well, then why are you telling me to do this for free?
out of integrity, a little out of
Yeah, and it
integrity.
was like, and then I said, "Well, how many businesses, like, what is your experience?" And it was like literally like someone who went through a course and who,
Yeah,
read a book
yeah,
and then
yeah,
said, "I'm a business coach." And it was like, so
yeah.
I mean, really working with someone who has gone through not just this, had successes and stuff, but
Hmm.
also learned the lessons,
Hmm.
went through the fire, got to the other side, is like so super important,
Yeah,
because they're just a couple steps ahead of you,
exactly.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
and can help you, like you said, can help you kind of pull that thread
yeah.
and give you a blueprint so that you can get to the other side of it. So
Exactly. And that is why you invest in a coach, because
totally.
you can try to do it yourself and you probably will be able to, but it might take you 20 years
Yeah.
versus like someone who's been there, walked through the fire, and can come back to you and say, okay, I see where you're at, and let's support you in taking the next step, and the whole time, like in a relationship, right? So your subconscious starts to see, oh, I'm having a different experience here, where someone's actually meeting me, where someone's reflecting back my gifts, my beauty, my essence back to me. Maybe that I can start believing that a little bit more, right? And that's the real magic of it, is it's reflecting you back to you,
Yeah,
because you didn't
totally.
have that most likely. And that's why there's these beliefs that are running under the surface of like maybe not feeling totally worthy, or feeling like you have to run yourself into the ground to create what you desire, and all of these things. And it's like, actually, that's not the truth.
Yeah. So, so good. And I think anybody who's listening to this or watching this is going to get so many good insights. Not just, and like you said, it's not just about like dating and relationships, which is
Hmm.
what a lot of people think, but it's really, honestly, what you do is it's rebuilding the relationship you have with yourself
Exactly.
so that you can go into the world
Yes.
and build
Yeah.
the things that you
Yeah.
were brought here to build.
Yes, that's it. It's like, and so when you hear that, it might be like, okay, that sounds cheesy, like my relationship with myself, but your relationship with
No.
yourself sets the tone for every single thing in your life, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you will, if you don't do the work within to shift it, you'll get the thing, maybe you'll get the job, you'll get the money, you'll get the relationship, and you will still land in the same place that you were before, because
Yeah.
that's how powerful the mind is, you know?
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, it's the most important work you can do, I believe.
Absolutely. And that's why, when I was talking to Vicky earlier, and we were talking about just the different things that I do. And I said, Vicky, I said, I said, a lot of business consultants just focus on the business. I don't. I focus
Mhm.
on the business, yes. But the bigger piece I focus on is the personal growth and
Yep.
development,
Yep.
which is why I'm a high performance coach, a
Mhm.
certified high performance coach,
Mhm.
because of exactly what you just said. I
Mhm.
mean, so many people that I've dealt with, and the only reason I did it this way is because of myself and what I
Mhm.
went through,
Mhm.
is that you can want all this stuff for your business, but if you don't work on you, your
Mhm.
business, your
Yeah,
life, your relationships will only grow as much as you're willing to.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just so key, and it's key to your work.
Mhm.
It's key to my work.
Mhm.
And it's, when you can, master the army of one, or whatever you want to call
Mhm.
it,
Mhm.
which is yourself, and what
Mhm.
happens between your 2 ears. I mean, once you can kind of uncover that, and it's not like you'd set it and forget it either, right?
Yeah. No,
Like
no,
every
no.
level is
Yes.
like another level of
Yeah.
stuff that you need to go through, you need to
Yes.
process, you need to, kind of strip away so that
Yeah.
you can get to those things that you want to accomplish.
Yeah. I think our business mentor, Lori Harder, she says new level, new devil.
Yeah.
Like,
Hmm.
it's so real. So just if you are looking for support, right? My suggestion would be go to someone who meets you where you're at, and someone who has gone through what you're going through, because there's a lot of people out there that can say that they can help you and support you, but they're maybe acting like they're totally healed or they've got it all figured out. And I would actually run as fast as I could in the opposite direction if that
Yeah.
was who I was,
Yeah.
potentially going to work with, because we're all human, we're all evolving, we're all going through the ups and downs of life, and sometimes we're getting our ass kicked by life. And the guru kind of phase is dead now. Like, we're
Yeah.
needing human to human, keeping it real, authentic connection. And that's what I like when I'm looking for people to support me. I'm like, oh, you're going through that too? I want to hear how you're
Great.
doing it. Yeah. Yeah.
Great. Let's get in this boat together.
Yeah.
So,
Totally.
well, Jess, this has been an amazing, amazing conversation. And it was funny because I
Yeah.
was going to say, so what advice would you give to people who want to find someone to work with, and
Oh, that's funny.
specifically in your area? And you answered the question. So
Yeah.
before I let you go and you can talk to people about, you have a quiz that people can
Hmm.
take where
Yeah.
it will actually point out what their pattern is. So
Hmm.
before we tell people how to get that, I'm like two, but it's probably three questions,
Okay.
fun questions,
Great.
right?
Love it.
Okay. So what is something interesting or unique or funny about you that most people don't know?
The first thing I think of is that I'm a cat lady, and I'm really good
You're
at
a cat lady?
I'm a cat lady. I love cats. I'm so connected to them. And also I kill every single plant, but I can grow cat grass. I'm like, I don't understand.
Maybe you're the cat woman. Like move over Halle Berry. Like
Yeah,
come
maybe.
on now.
Maybe that's my next endeavor. Yeah.
Exactly. What is something that you wish what's your favorite food before I ask you the last question?
It's anything Italian, like pasta,
Oh, me
pizza.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Carbs, 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 carbs.
Yeah, no, me too.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question. What is something that you wish people knew or would ask you that they don't,
About me or about their own
about
lives?
your industry, about them, about anything?
I think I guess I just wish that more people knew that life is mirroring back you to you, right? Because we think that we're in this, we're at the effect of what's happening when really we're just our inner world is being mirrored back to us. So if you know that, then you can actually take some steps to change it versus just sitting there and kind of being at the effect of things happening. Doesn't mean things aren't going to happen in life, but it's like you have more agency. You have more
Mhm.
agency than you realize to change it.
Got it. Oh, so good. So good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jess, thank you so much
Thank
for being a
you.
guest. It was an honor
Fun.
to have you on. And anybody who is listening, tell them how they can go to get the quiz, but also how and find out what their pattern is.
Yeah.
But also, how can they find you? How can they work with you?
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
Yeah,
It's my favorite, just like chatting and podcasts and all of
I
it.
know
So
we do
thank
it. We do it so well.
It's so fun. Yeah. So if you would like more information, you can find me on Instagram. My handle is Jess Hendrick Coaching, and there's a link in my bio where you can take the quiz. So you can find it there. You can also go to my website, which is jesshendrick.com, and there's a little button to discover your pattern. So if you're wondering what's keeping you stuck, jump on there, and I'd love to hear your result. If you want to DM me and tell me where you're at,
Yeah,
what did you learn?
I should go take the quiz. I'll have to go
Yeah,
take
take
the
the quiz.
quiz. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jess,
Thank you.
for having me on, for being
You're welcome.
for having me on my own show, for being here. It's it's late.
Where we're
Okay.
at, okay? This is where we're at. We're authentic.
Yeah.
We're
This is where we're at. It's
yeah,
not it's life. It's
it's
life. It's
life.
real.
It's
It's
life.
real. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And to everybody out there, I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday weekend. If you're in the United States. And I also hope that, and my wish to everyone, as we say on every show, is I hope we take care of each other just a little bit more than we already do.
Mhm.
So have a great rest of your week and have a great weekend. And we